Hi and welcome to a new episode of Crochet Along with Me, a vlog in which I invite you to come out with me in nature and take your crochet project and crochet a little bit along with me outside in nature, breathing the fresh air and just enjoying your project. This is the fourth episode and the last for 2022, and I am very happy to be filming it. It's the end of November and almost the end of the year. I would like to wrap up everything that's happened in this year and of course go through the regular part of this vlog and show you what I've been up to. So pick up your crochet project and let's get into it. On every episode, I ask you to leave a comment with whatever you want, and I choose a comment to read on the next episode. So if you want me to read your comment on the next video, make sure to leave some down below. I will have some questions for you, so you can use those as a prompt to write something in the comments. On my previous episode about balance, Tiva said, "All of your whips are astonishing. Thank you. You are truly a master." I am not. I'm not a master, but thank you. I'm nowhere to your level, but I started to accept that I don't need tons of yarn to inspire me. Quite opposite. I started to buy yarn specifically for certain items I want to make. Yes. Don't like having multiple whips. They make me nervous, like dark cloud over my head. Especially if I was doing it for the sake of doing it. I rather have whips in my mind than hanging around my apartment making me nervous. Take care, Andy. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree with that. If you can, buy yarn for the projects that you have planned and thought about for at least a couple of days, and don't do like I do, just buying yarn thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this thing someday, because you'll end up with a room full of yarn that you don't remember what you planned to make with. But of course, if you find some amazing yarn that you love and you've used before at a very good price, and you know you will definitely use it up, I will not tell you to not buy it, because I would. So it's good to have some balance in your life, to know what you want, to know what brings you joy, and to do those things. That's amazing. So thank you for your comment, Tiva, and thank you for always being there for me, and I see you on every video. Now, since we're talking about whips or work in progresses, let me show you mine that I have right now with me. I brought some whips with me to work on while we talk, and this is one of them. It's a crescent shawl, as you can see, made with a gradient yarn. I still have some yarn left, so there is still space for a few more rows until I can close the feather shapes that you can see here. This one started from the middle, just like the yellow shawl that I showed you last time. They have the same starting rows here, 3 rows at the beginning, but then they grow completely differently. This one I charted out before I started, and then I changed the chart, and then I changed it again, and I made so many mistakes, and I had to take out thousands of stitches, if you can imagine. But still, we have some progress, and I'm happy about it, and I can't wait to finish it so I can start another one. There's also Tunisian crochet whip. Well, one of the Tunisian crochet whips. This is future sweater. It's a bit small, as you can see. Hopefully it will be comfortable after I make some more rows. It's a round raglan made with short rows. I didn't distribute the rows evenly. You have short rows in some clusters here that they create a kind of flower-like structure, and I like that very much. And it's theoretically made with a regular hook, but I like my Tunisian crochet hooks because they're very pointy. You don't have this in regular hooks. So I prefer this pointiness in Tunisian crochet projects because you can just go through the stitches so easily. With regular hooks you can't do this, so that's why I chose this hook, even though it has a dangly and annoying cord attached to it. If you have interchangeables, you are able to use only the hook part to make this kind of projects. So this one has at most 10 stitches per section, and it's inspired by linked double crochet sweater that I made 2-3 years ago. I don't remember. I wanted to make another one, but then I decided no. So I came up with this instead. I don't know if it's going to be a pattern. I will not even think about it. For now, I just want to make it. I'm writing up what I'm doing, and then we'll see. If I ever get the energy and concentration to sit down and turn this into a pattern, then we will have a pattern. If not, we will have other patterns. So as you can see, I just made the raglan part and divided for the armholes. Here I don't love this because it's too big. Even though I made the calculations correct, it still came out too big, so I will make some decreases here where you have this angle, so I have a nicer sleeve end when I put the sleeves in. And it's seamed at the back. You can't see the seam because I used the tail left from up top to sew it down so that I can try it on. See, this is a temporary seam, and this is the tail that's left. So I will use this tail to sew up these gaps so I can wear the sweater. And it starts from the back with these short rows, 10 stitch long rows. I like this type of construction because you can make it on a regular hook, as I said, and you can adapt it for any yarn size. So that's a whip that I started a few weeks ago. And of course, you know me, I have other things that I've started and frogged, obviously. And we also have this fluffy thing, which I started more than a month ago and haven't finished because I got stuck. I wrote up the chart for it and then I didn't love it. So this is what we have so far. I don't know if you can see the lace. I made so many eyelets and I made a pattern with the eyelets, but I don't know if you can see them. So I don't know if I should keep this or frog it because I don't have a lot of yarn left and I feel like it's a bit small. What do you think? Should I frog it or should I finish it and make a pattern for it? Either way, I will use the chart to make a pattern, but maybe with a different yarn if this one doesn't look so good in the end. This is how much yarn I have left. This is Austermann Kid Silk, so it's a 25% silk, 75% mohair mix, and it's lace weight, as you can see. So I don't know, help me decide. It's been abandoned for so long and I just want to get it out of my hair. Either finish it like this and keep it and publish the pattern with this sample, or frog it and make something else from the yarn and use the pattern to make a different sample in a different thicker yarn that will show the lace better. This yarn should last for at least 6 more rows, but maybe more. I don't know how much yarn I have left here, so maybe it will be this much longer. So please let me know in the comments what you think I should do about this project. Whoop. I think that's it for works in progress, and now I can show you what I finished in November. You remember from last episode I was working on a gradient white to yellow shawl, and it's done. It's a bit too long, maybe. I made too many sections in it, so it's more than half a circle. It's more like 3/4 of a circle. This will be a pattern next year. Testing and all that. I will tell you all about it next year. So if you're interested in making this kind of shawl, just answer the emails that I send out with the testing call. I also made the second slipper, and now Arunima has published the pattern, so you can find the pattern for free on her blog, or you can buy a PDF if you want to, with all the sizes included, so I think that's amazing. Yes, they already got some use and I should wash them. But I wanted to show you. So if you want to make some cute slippers, you can try them out. I will make a different pair of slippers for the Fasten Off Yarn Along that I'm participating in this year as a designer. Oh, and you can get 25% off of 25 of my patterns that I'm selling in my own shop. So shop.yarnandi.com until December 8th. And then you can participate in the Fasten Off Yarn Along by just registering your project in there. And when you finish it, you are eligible to win a lot of prizes. So a lot of designers are participating in this event, and I will be using another slipper pattern from Arunima in this event, and she's also participating this year. It's my first year participating in this event, and that's the same for the Indie Designer Gift Along, which I'm also participating in, but the discount period for that has already ended. You can still participate with any project you make from any of my patterns that are on Ravelry, and when you do, you get a chance to win a prize. The Fasten Off Yarn Along is happening on a separate platform from Ravelry, and it's being organized by designers who were affected by the changes on Ravelry, and I completely understand why. So if you have problems with Ravelry, like I do, you can use the instructions that I set out in a blog post on my website to make the website much friendlier to your eyes. But unfortunately, this only works for the desktop website. So if you use Ravelry on a PC, you can use this skin that I created, and then you will not have problems with the website. So let's talk about finished projects. I have 3 this month. The first one of them was the Dots baby blanket. I will put a picture up here because I don't have the blanket anymore, but I made a small dishcloth out of some leftover squares. I have 8 more, so I'm going to make 2 more of these dishcloths. As you can see, they're very cute, very colorful, and very easy to make. You have the full video pattern on the channel. You have a separate video for the circle, which is the face scrubby pattern, and then you have a separate video for squaring the circles in 2 ways. So you choose your favorite. Then you seam up the squares, you add a cute border, and you have your finished project. I will be using these a lot because I use washcloths, so I'm happy I have some leftovers that I can use as these washcloths. And I think they're cute too. I mean, look at them. If you want to, you can add faces or stuff to the circles to make them cuter. I'm happy with the way they are, and I hope that my nephew will learn colors by using the blanket I created for him, actually. So this was one finished project. Then there's the Poyana wrap, which I also launched in November, and it got a lot of love. It's a filet crochet rectangle wrap that I showed you in the first episode of the Crochet Along With Me vlog. So if you've been curious since then to try it out, you can get it. I put it at a lower price than regular shawl patterns because even though I put a lot of work in the pattern itself, so it has 2 types of written instructions and 2 types of charts, I still want it to be very accessible to folks. So you can find that in all my shops if you want to try it out. And the last one, and the most fulfilling, I would like to say, is this one that I'm wearing right now. So we finished testing the Macaw Wings shawl, and I created the last updated version with all the changes from the testers, and I published this last Friday. So if you are subscribed to my emails, you have coupon code for 20% off from Payhip and Ravelry, because the files are too big to upload to my own server. I will create a version that will go on there as well, but these have very high print quality. So if you want to print out the diagrams and follow along with the written instructions, then they will be very high quality. You also have big charts, so A3 size, which is much bigger than regular printer paper. So if you want to print them out big, you can do that as well. And I think I mentioned this in episode 2 of the Crochet Along With Me vlog, that this yarn is from an advent calendar from Puck Yarns, and there are many folks who have bought this advent calendar in their own favorite colors, and I can't wait to see what their shawls look like. So if you're one of the people who are making this shawl, please update me on how it's going, because I would love to see your project. And if you need any help, I'm always available to help. Maybe not on weekends, so try to write to me during the week so I can answer you quickly. And this leads me to the last section and the longest section of this video, in which we will talk about boundaries. Boundaries is a good word. So not only do we have to set boundaries for other people when they interact with us, we need to set boundaries for ourselves. And I am very bad at doing that. So at the beginning of this month, I started reading a book called Laziness Does Not Exist by Devon Price. And while I don't agree 100% with the title, it was an eye-opener. I made it halfway through the book and took a break because I need to process things and put them into perspective. So what does this mean? In our case, people who make things by hand, we feel the pressure to create things all the time, to feel productive or like our life matters. But who says that we need to make things in order for our lives to matter? We have learned this from somewhere. At least I know I have, from our parents, from our culture, everyone who surrounds us, and it leads to burnout in people who want to please. So people like me, maybe you, I don't know, maybe you have more balance and you have better boundaries, but I will say neurodivergent people in general have this need to prove ourselves, because we're always dismissed. So I will not talk about other people because I don't know what they go through, but I know that this is a very common thing for autistic folks, in especially, that we are dismissed many times when we want to express something. So we try to compensate. At least in my case, I know that I have this thing where I need to help people. I need to do my best all the time, because I learned that that's how you are successful in life, I guess. That's when people will accept you. That's when you get the things that you need. And that's not a good thing, actually. You should not have to please everyone. You should not have to go out of your way and to use up all your resources to please others and then have nothing left for yourself. And also, just overdoing things all the time leads to burnout and health issues and loss of what you call productivity. But in my case, loss of ability to even think or read or write or do anything, even to create these things that I love to make. In this case, laziness definitely does not exist, and we need to learn to set boundaries to what we're willing to do for others and for our own, in some people's cases, hobbies, and in some people's cases, businesses. Well, in my case, this year has been exhausting. Even though I set out to do a lot of things, and I did a lot of things, it was too much. I set very high expectations, and I don't know what I based them on. Maybe last year when I was still recovering from my previous burnout. I don't know. But the point is that you should not have to drive yourself into an illness in order to survive or have a good life or have a decent life or even a life. This is not limited to crochet or making patterns and videos and all of this stuff. This is valid for life in general. Even when I was working in research, I used to overdo it because I wanted to be the best. I wanted to have the, I don't know, the most publications and to excel when I really didn't need to excel. I don't know if I needed to excel in order to feel good about myself or survive. I thought this would be a nice and peaceful place to film because it's beautiful, but it's so noisy and I can't even think, let alone talk. Maybe I should film on the weekends when no one saws wood next to a protected area. My main point is, find your priorities. Look at your life right now and see what you're doing too much. What are you trying to demonstrate? Who are you trying to prove things to? Is it yourself or is it a voice in your head? And if it's a voice in your head, who does this voice belong to? Just think about it. In my case, I will take next year easier. There is no point in building a business that you cannot sustain. So I want this to be sustainable. If I'm going to add charts, full written instructions, easy read versions, videos to all of my patterns that I'm going to put out, then I need to take the time to do these things well and not to rush at the last moment to publish because I said I will publish on this date. Deadlines are good for people like me who need them, but too many deadlines in too short a time lead to burnout. That's just reality. If you put too much on your plate and you're excited to do it, you will still burn out because it's just physically too much to do by a single person in a limited amount of time. And not even taking into account all the marketing that one has to do in order to promote something that they finished. In this case, a crochet design business, I think marketing should take at least 50% of the time and energy invested into the business. And I'm not doing that because I'm too tired after a full day of doing all the things to get the patterns ready. Oh yeah, I forgot about testing. So testing takes a lot of energy, especially if you're like me and are not very good at talking to people. All this stuff takes a toll. So next year we will have at most one pattern release per month, and I have a few patterns lined up already, so I can work on them in advance and prepare them, so I don't have to rush at the last minute, and I can take the time to actually show you what it is and why you would want to make something like that in your free time, so I can relax and try out a few things and maybe finally write up a garment pattern, because I've been thinking about doing it for this whole year and it has loomed over my head like, I don't know, a dark cloud. And working under this kind of stress and pressure is not good for creativity. And even though I'm so proud of all the things I've created this year and all the patterns I've shared with you and all the videos, it was too much. I mean, it was too much for me. It was very tiring. And I think we all need to be able to rest. I hope this was nice for you. And I hope you will share with me what you're working on and that you'll subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if you're participating in any of these events happening right now in December on Ravelry, the Indie Design Gift Along, or on Fast Enough Yarn Along. I will put links in the description to both of these events and where you can get my discounted patterns until December 8th. Yeah, I'd love to see you there, and I hope we can just relax, have some fun, and enjoy some crochet time together, because this month I'm not publishing anything. I will just relax and maybe promote other designers and some previously published designs that you might use as gifts for this season. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the ducks. I will put some more videos of them at the end here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!